I have played Kirby and the Forgotten Land plus Star-Crossed World on Nintendo Switch 2, and in today's video I'm going to tell you about my thoughts, share some gameplay. So with that all being said, what is up guys, Jen here, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the channel. Got you covered with timestamps, so if you want to skip to a certain part of this video, feel free to do so. All I ask is you to support the channel, hit the like button, and if you want to stick around for some more Nintendo content, you're already in the right place. Just hit that subscribe button. So, let's start off by addressing that this is the Nintendo Switch 2 version, which means we had a Nintendo Switch version down the line. I did play this when it released. I rolled credits. It was a really fun time. I do like just chilling out and playing a platformer, and Kirby definitely delivered on that platformer experience with all of the bells and whistles that brought to the table. So I'm going to lay this video out a little bit differently because it's not my first rodeo with this game, but the Nintendo Switch 2 version specifically brings a few new features to the table. So we're going to reflect on that and see what it does. So let's start off with the performance, because the performance has been improved. The game was locked at 30 frames per second on the Switch 1, and now on the Switch 2 it's a glorious 60 frames per second, which is a great difference and makes the game just play the best it has ever played. There's also been graphics and resolution improvements, so you no longer got those jagged edges around anymore. It looks great on handheld, it looks great on a 4K monitor, very vibrant, and really just brings the best out of everything that Kirby and the Forgotten Land has to offer. Also, a few other things it brings to the table is faster loading times. It has better draw distances and better animations on like the enemies that are walking around in the distance. They don't just pop in anymore, they fade in quite nicely, and their animations are already nice and smooth. Just little things that really enhance the overall experience. And these are very noticeable if you have come from the Switch 1 version to the Switch 2 version. So let's move on to the additions and my feelings going through these additions to Kirby and the Forgotten World. So we have a new story and campaign in the Star-Crossed World levels. Essentially, a meteor crashes, crystals spread everywhere, there's a new threat, the Star of Darkness, and we need to investigate and save the Starries in this campaign. This introduces the Starry stages. There are 12 new stages, 2 per world, built off the existing levels that we've got to play in the base game, but there is crystal growths all over the place, which create new paths and environmental changes for us to traverse, and shifts how we tackle them and play them using whatever abilities we can find along our way. Now, at first glance, I thought, oh man, we're going through the same levels again. I don't know how I feel about that, but as I went through these levels, they felt familiar, but they weren't repetitive at all. The alternate paths and the transformations of the scenery made these levels feel like new levels. And the amount of things that you can find off the off-beaten path and the secrets to find, whether it's Starries or a couple of more coins that you can spend at the Waddle Dee town, it really incentivizes exploration, and I really enjoyed the new take on these levels. Another thing that I discovered while going through these story levels is the new mouthful modes. We got the gear mouth, which essentially allows you to traverse certain walls, and this expanded as we used it more, where we had to do a little bit of platforming, a little bit of timing on moving platforms, trying to find hidden walls that we can grapple onto to find secret areas. This is probably my favorite out of the new ones, but we also got the spring mouth, which allows us to jump as high as we can and smash down as well to find secret areas again. Then there's the sign mouthful mode, where we essentially are doing sliding down slopes and doing spin attacks, just adding a new layer traversal to a couple of these levels to get from A to B. Now, when you look at it and think, oh, new mouthful modes, are this really going to bring much more to the table? It really did, as they're level-specific powers. So when you come across one, you know that you're going to need it to get from a certain place to another, but there are going to be a few nuts and crannies across the way for you to discover. For someone that's come from the Nintendo Switch 1 version, these mouthful modes definitely add a lot to the table, and you can tell that they've really designed these starry levels with these in mind. A couple of other extra things that have been brought to the table in this is the Ultimate Cup ZEX, which is a tougher boss rush mode in the Colosseum, which I've not tried just yet because when it comes to the combat, I'm not the greatest, but I think with me going through these story levels, trying out the new mouthful modes and revisiting some of the abilities we gather along the way, I think I might be able to get to the top and get that cup. But it's great for having more options in the Colosseum. And then there's also collectibles. I am a sucker for collectibles. Wherever wherever a game throws them in, I'm going to collect them all. And here we have new figurines in the Gotcha Machine EX, which we get from our new companion, who is in the center of Waddle Dee Town, which are all figures related to Star-Crossed World for you to collect, and I'm definitely going to be filling out that collection to its potential. All in all, I think this is a great package. It is a great upgrade. For those that have played Kirby and the Forgotten Land and they want more, you are getting a well worth package. And for those that are interested in playing Kirby and the Forgotten Land and you have a Switch 2, this is the package you just need to go for straight off the bat, because you're getting so much here. If you want a nice platformer with secrets to find, tough bosses to go against, and even more challenges if you want to go down that route, it has it all here. I've had a barrel of a time playing through this. I definitely think this is one of the better upgrade paths for the Nintendo Switch to Nintendo Switch 2 versions for you to invest in, and you can't beat a bit of Kirby. Now, I was trying to think if there was anything in the realm of things I didn't really like about this, but no, I had quite a lot of fun here. And I do like to spend a couple of moments in my spare time just to go through a mindless platformer. And this definitely scratched the itch that I was looking for, and I am excited to continue on and do everything Star-Crossed World has to offer. I think with all the gameplay bells and whistles introduced, as well as performance updates, if that is something that you are bothered by. I mean, performance has never been a thing that I've solely concentrated on, but it's really noticeable in this vibrant world that is Kirby and the Forgotten Land. It's all there for you to experience, and it's well worth the time. You've got story, you've got modes, and you've got challenges across the bat. And I'm very interested to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. Have you played the original Kirby and the Forgotten Land? Have you invested in the Switch 2 edition with the Star-Crossed World levels and everything else in between? Or are you planning on getting it? Because I definitely think it's well worth investing in. I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. And until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side.